Hello, GS Paul again. Today's lesson is regarding excretory system. But before I start with this excretory system, I would like to connect it with what we have done already. That is digestive system, blood vascular system, and respiratory system. In digestive system, we studied the digestion of food, and then the digested food was absorbed and brought into the blood, and this blood then circulatory system went all around the body so that the digested food can be distributed to all the cells of the body. Then we had seen a respiratory system in which we studied how the carbohydrates, which are converted into glucose in digestive system, are oxidized by the process of respiration to produce energy. So in respiration, we studied the process of production of energy. And then whenever these digested constituents of food are used up in the body, some of the waste products are produced. All those substances which are produced in our body, and if they are useless and they can cause some harm, we call them as a waste product. And the organs which eliminate these waste products from our body constitute altogether, all those organs together, the excretory system. Now we have already seen the undigested food as the waste product, and it was stored in the rectum and then eliminated from the rectum. So rectum is one of the excretory organs of our body. Then we had seen glucose being used by the process of respiration to produce energy, carbon dioxide, and some water. The carbon dioxide is a waste product, and carbon dioxide is removed from the body by the lungs. The next substance that is used in our body is amino acids. Whenever amino acids are used in our body during the process of metabolism, of course, some of the waste products are produced, which is basically ammonia. And ammonia forms the urine. So we have to remove this ammonia or the urine from our body. And that part of the job is done by the kidney. Now, before I tell how the urea is formed in our body, we shall see the next waste product from our body is sweat, which is removed or eliminated by skin. And the liver is an organ which removes all the substances which we don't need, like medicines, alcohol, or all those things which are produced in our body also. The liver's job is to denature all those substances which are present in our body. So these are the 5 excretory organs. Today we will be seeing the kidney, which eliminates urine, and all those organs which work for the process of eliminating urine is called urinary system. Now, before I go ahead with the urinary system, I will try to explain how urine is produced. As I said, when the amino acids undergo metabolism, that is, they are used in our body, they produce one of the substances which is called ammonia. Now, this ammonia, in all the cells of the body, ammonia is produced. And you have already seen that in all the cells of the body, carbon dioxide is also produced. Now, nature has made an arrangement that this carbon dioxide can combine with ammonia to form, both of them are waste products, to form one product which is called urea. How? One molecule of carbon dioxide takes up two molecules of ammonia. One atom of the carbon dioxide, one atom of the oxygen combines with the two atoms of the hydrogen to form water, and a compound COONH2NH2 is produced. This can be called as carbonyl diamide. Now this compound, carbonyl diamide, is called urea. And you have to understand that urea is a nitrogenous waste produced from the metabolism of amino acids. And if you remember, amino acids are the products of digestion produced by digesting the proteins. So this is how the urine or urea is produced in our body. By the way, the solution of urea in water is called urine. Now, we come to the organs of urinary system. The organs of urinary system are a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, one ureter from each kidney, opening up into the urinary bladder, and the urinary bladder opening to the outside through urethra. So these are the organs of urinary system. Now we'll look at each organ one by one. By the way, on the top of the kidney there's a gland called adrenal gland. This is endocrine gland, ductless gland, and it produces adrenaline. I am telling about adrenals because they are present on the top of the kidney. Now we come to the kidneys. We have a pair of kidneys situated on the dorsal side of our body, placed on the either side of the vertebral column. Each kidney is around 10 centimeter long and 6 centimeter broad and roughly 4 centimeter in thickness. Generally say that each kidney is almost like one fist of the person. Now, each kidney is a dark red in color. And if we cut a section of the kidney to see what is in the kidney. Now what we see in the kidney is there's an outer layer called this black thing is the fibrous capsule, which protects the substance of the kidney. And inner to the fibrous capsule is the outer portion of the kidney, which is called the cortex, and the inner portion of the kidney is called medulla. The medulla is thrown into these pyramid-like structures, and they are called renal pyramids, which are 5 to 8 in number in the whole kidney. Then towards the inner side of the medulla, there is this part of the kidney which receives three things. This part of the kidney is actually thrown towards the inner side. It has a sort of depression, and this depression of the kidney is called hilum. In this depression or in hilum, one thing that comes in is the renal artery from the aorta. And the other thing, from the kidney, the blood goes out through a renal vein into the post cavum. And the third thing at this hilum is the pelvis of the ureter. That is the beginning of the ureter to go outside. So what we see in kidney is three things mainly: the fibrous structure which protects it, the cortex, the medulla, and the hilum. Now, in between each pyramid, there are some portions of the medulla, and they are called the renal columns. They separate the pyramids. Now, the main functions of the kidney. Now, first, then we have a ureter, which opens into the urinary bladder. Ureters are just the tubes reaching from the kidney up to the urinary bladder, which is in the lower portion of the abdomen. Each ureter opens towards the back side of the urinary bladder, and the urinary bladder is a muscular organ which stores the urine. It can store up to 1500 ml of urine, and the urinary bladder opens to the outside through the urethra, which is controlled here at the urinary bladder by a sphincter muscle. In case of males, there are two sphincters because urethra is little longer than the urethra of the females. Now, the main function of the kidney, in addition to separating the urine, to which I will be coming, are excretion of urine or filtration of urine from the blood, and then movement of it. It produces certain hormones, renin and erythropoietin, and then it controls the concentration of the blood and the homeostasis. It's called homeostasis. It filters around 48 in male and 40 gallons in female of blood per day. Now it's interesting that around 40 to 50 gallons of blood is filtered in each kidney in one day. It's beyond imagination, but it is there. Now I'll explain how that happens, or how blood is filtered in the kidney. Now, when we have got this section of the kidney like that, we see that in the cortical region, in the region of the cortex, there are some U-shaped structures. These U-shaped structures are called uriniferous tubules. Now, you will be amazed that there are nearly 1 million uriniferous tubules in one kidney. And if there are 1 million uriniferous tubules in one kidney, I'm sure this thing justifies that around around 40 to 50 gallons of blood can be filtered in the kidneys. Now, each uriniferous tubule has a cup-like structure towards its upper end, and then a tubule. The tubule is divided into three regions: the proximal end of the tubule and the distal end of the tubule. And the in between this U-shaped structure is called Henle's loop. Henle's loop. I have made this diagram here. See, this is Bowman's capsule, and this is the uriniferous tubule, that thing. This is the proximal end of the tubule, this is the distal end of the tubule, and this U-shaped structure is called Henle's loop. Now, each kidney is supplied with blood, the arterial blood, I'll say. The artery that comes to the kidney, this is renal artery. This is the arteriole which comes to the kidney. A branch of the arteriole, as it comes into the kidney, opens up into the Bowman's capsule. In the Bowman's capsule, it breaks up into a network of arterioles like that, efferent, and as it goes out, this is called efferent blood vessel. And this network, which is within the Bowman's capsule, their network of blood vessels is called glomerulus. The glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule together constitute what is called as renal capsule. Now, in the Bowman's capsule is in the cortex, and the tubules are in the medulla, and the collecting tubules, urine collecting tubules are also in the medulla. Now, we have seen the blood supply to the kidney as well as to the uriniferous tubule. Now, the blood vessel the efferent blood vessel as it comes out of the Bowman's capsule, it gets divided into a network of blood vessels. In this network of blood vessels around the uriniferous tubule, the blood gives oxygen and absorbs carbon dioxide. Now, why blood gives oxygen and where is this carbon dioxide coming from? The answer is that in this uriniferous tubule, they are doing very important function, that is reabsorbing the structures or the products which have escaped from here. For this reabsorption, energy is required, and for that energy, the oxygen is utilized and carbon dioxide is produced. The renal artery, which goes like this as renal arteriole, goes in as efferent blood vessel, comes out as efferent blood vessel, and this efferent blood vessel, after having gone around the uriniferous tubule, becomes the vein. The renal venule, and this opens into the renal vein, and the renal vein then opens into the postcaval. Now, this is the blood supply to the uriniferous tubule. Now, what happens in the uriniferous tubule? As the efferent blood vessel comes into the uriniferous tubule, its diameter is little broad, its diameter is more, so that more blood can go in. But the diameter of the efferent blood vessel, which is getting out of the Bowman's capsule, is less. See here, diameter of efferent and efferent, in such a way that in the Bowman's capsule a pressure is built up. The more blood is coming and less is going out, there will be some blood pressure. Because of that pressure, all those substances which are soluble in water are filtered here. The blood cells and the main blood is just passes out. But see, the urea, the glucose, the amino acids, the ions, sodium and potassium, water and certain hormones, they escape and starts flowing through this. Let me tell you, it's not the urine. Urea is only one component. Now, as these substances pass through the uriniferous tubule, the function of the long tube, the function of the uriniferous tubule is to reabsorb those substances which are useful for our body, the substances which our body needs, they are reabsorbed here. I will say what? Glucose is reabsorbed, amino acids are reabsorbed, sodium potassium is reabsorbed, some of the water is also reabsorbed, and the hormones are also reabsorbed in such a way that what passes out here is only the urine, which passes out of the distal end of the uriniferous tubules into the urine collecting tubules and this collecting duct. And this urine collecting duct then opens into the pelvis, pelvis of the ureter here, from here. And imagine now, from around 1 million tubules like this, the urine comes here, of course drops. And then all those drops from so many of uriniferous tubules comes in the pelvis of the ureter, and from the pelvis of the ureter through the ureter into the urinary bladder, and then it is stored into the urinary bladder. Now, I have explained how the urine is filtered in the Bowman's capsule by the blood which is supplied in the Bowman's capsule, and the things which have escaped, the useful things which have escaped are reabsorbed in the uriniferous tubule, and they go into the blood. And this blood, after having received sodium, potassium, amino acids, glucose, some of the hormones, this blood then goes through the venous system into the post cable, and from the post cable into the heart, left and right auricle of the heart. Now, as the urine comes in here, after it has been filtered by the uriniferous tubules, it is collected in the urinary bladder. The capacity of the urinary bladder is around 500 ml, half a liter, or capacity is half a quart. In children, it is little less, but in grown-up persons, the capacity of the urinary bladder is around half of the quart, or 500 ml. Of course, this capacity of the urinary bladder decreases in older persons. The amount of urinary bladder, amount of the urine stored in the urinary bladder is little less. It can be up to 200 ml. So it has decreased. Now, in the urinary bladder, when the urinary bladder is full of urine, is filled up, there are certain neurons, certain cells present in the urinary bladder, which are connected with some nerves to the brain. When the urinary bladder is full of urine, those nerve cells are activated and send a message to the brain that urinary bladder is full of urine. Now, when that message is received up the brain, at the same time a message, then the message comes from the brain for the muscles of the urinary bladder to contract and squeeze the urine to the outside. At the same time, a message comes to the sphincters of present at the urethra, the joint of at the base of the urinary bladder, and this sphincter is also directed to relax. Hence, the urine from the urinary bladder is passed to the outside. Now, what is urine? Actually, urine is water, mainly excess of water that our body has, and urea, and some of the waste products like creatinine, some of the sodium and potassium can escape. So this is escaped one. It can be there in the urine. The other thing is some ammonia gas can also be there, and some of the pigments which are present in the blood also go. So basically, the urine is these products, but the main substance that is thrown to the outside is urea. Now that is the urinary system, and to sum up, I have explained the organs of urinary system, which is the kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra. And then blood supply, and then how this blood is filtered in the components of the kidney, uriniferous tubules, and how some of the components which escape from the uriniferous tubules are reabsorbed. Now these uriniferous tubules are also called nephrons. Nephrons is the other name for uriniferous tubules. That is urinary system for today. I know, as I usually say, because this lesson or all the lessons are virtual, I'm sure as I'm talking to you, there must be some questions striking into your mind. If you ask those questions in the comment section, I shall be pleased to answer those questions, and I shall answer those questions as soon as possible. Thank you for today. Good luck.